This episode is brought to you by regret and bad choices.
Are you ready?
Starting now?
Well, now you just messed it up, you knob. God, you know that the shit that we go through for this, huh?
I know. Fuckers better appreciate it. When we started, we were just like, yeah, we're just going to do this, man. You know, shoot our wad into the wind and see what happens. What's the title of this podcast again?
I don't know. Objects, I don't know. Something with a penis, I guess.
Right.
Our fucking faces are everywhere now.
Right.
You know, but
You're welcome, ladies.
Right. Popular with the ladies. Right. Oh, I'm not even going to apologize because hopefully it sounds fucking hilarious.
Yeah, totally. This is fucking explicit now.
The explicit button. Let me use my finger.
It is time for another episode of Sober, Not Mature. And that episode starts now.
All right, everyone. Welcome once again to another episode of Sober, Not Mature.
Mhm.
And what do you say we get this started off on, I'll say a happy, positive, and I'll go as far as to say inspirational note. What do you say,
Wow.
Mike?
Well, fuck, man. Yeah, go ahead.
All right, so she says it's not always strawberries and orgasms, but she's been doing
yes.
this shit for 20 fucking years.
Yes.
Yeah, our friend Heidi, who is the author, I'll call her the author of that statement, the author,
Yes.
creator. Not-
It's her quote.
She's the content creator of that quote. Yes.
Yes, she is.
But yeah, I saw that. What day was that? Tuesday or Wednesday, something like that. And
Yeah.
I mean, I never know when people's anniversaries are. Sometimes I'll put them in my phone, but Facebook is how I know that stuff. So
Yeah.
But yeah, our friend Heidi hit 20 years. So
Yeah.
the only thing I have a little bit of a resentment now. Okay.
Uh-oh.
Because she can now say she's got a few 24s, right? Am I correct?
She can. Yeah.
God damn it. Fucking Heidi.
Yep.
Fucking Heidi.
Wonder how she did it.
I don't know. I've heard if we were sitting in a meeting, some old guy in the back would be, "How'd you do it?" Yeah, one day at a time. One day at a time for 20 goddamn fucking years. So,
Yep.
But seriously, no, congratulations. And we did have her on the episode, and I look back, and I normally forget to, but literally like 5 minutes before he came on here, because I wrote the note about it. I'm like, oh shit, let's figure out what episode it was. So guess what episode? So
Jesus.
Just curiosity, because I mean, I would have been way fucking off. We're in episode 179 right now. So
Right. I mean, I'm guessing that maybe mid 40s, 50s, somewhere around there.
Oh, so you were closer than I was. I was thinking maybe it was like 60 or 70 back or something like that. It's 87. The episode.
Well,
so I mean,
all right, we're still way the fuck off.
But I mean, literally, it's a fucking 100 episodes ago. I mean, it's
Right.
basically. I'm like, God, that's been literally almost 2 years ago. I'm like, Jesus Christ. So, but yeah, it just, I don't know. It was good to see. I mean, obviously it's, anniversaries are fun for, anyone. And we both do, I know, but, it's just celebrating anniversaries. But yeah, Heidi's a good shit, wonderful friend of ours. And, yeah, it was just really good. She's, if you listen to her episode, which you should, she's got a lot going on.
Yep.
And has had a lot going on for the last,
Oof,
what's she bringing the kids 7-8 years ago?
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Yeah, so when she was younger than us in sobriety, 12, 13 years, she brought on a couple of her daughter's kids that she's been taking care of. So she has a full life.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of shit. She's got a lot of shit going on, but she keeps that head of her straight somehow. And I don't know fucking how. But yeah, so congratulations to her. All the love in the world to our friend Heidi, right?
Yes.
Okay, good. So, I've got, I was I was looking at this. I'm like, I printed off my sheets, and I'm like, why the fuck do I still have 4 sheets? But I got like a whole page full of like just little notes from this week. Nothing out of the ordinary. It's almost like headlines, you know. I mean, obviously, some people died this week. I
They
figured we'd
did.
chit chat about that. I've got a story about a snake. There was a post on
Yeah.
Instagram, or no, I'm sorry, on Facebook from when I moved to Wisconsin. What's been 12 years ago is when the post
Uh-huh.
was. I got to tell you about that because I think you'll laugh. You were involved in that.
All right.
A little bit about Marc Maron, my license plates, waterfalls. It's just a whole bunch of little shit. And that I'm like, okay, well now I know why. We made a hell of a dent last week in all the topics, but
Mm-hmm.
I have to stop like making little notes because it's just all over the
No,
fucking
I
place
know.
now.
What else are we gonna do when we get
Yeah.
on here if you don't?
Okay, then there. I feel better. Thank you, Mike.
Sure.
Half the time I'm like, God, you've even said it. Jesus Christ, you fucking talk a lot, and it's
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. Right.
But I think, I'm just going to go out on a limb and say that if I didn't talk a lot, it would make your job a lot harder, right?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay, so I would just prefer you said thank you and let's get on with the
All right.
podcast.
Well, thank you. Let's get on with the podcast.
Just fucking with you. But no, let's get on to the good stuff where you actually get to do some work with that fucking mouth of yours and get a reading. What do you think? That sounded terrible, which it should have.
No, it did. It sounded wonderful. One of my favorite things, getting to work with that mouth of mine. All right. Yes, let me clear my throat. All right, yes. So I'm assuming you're talking about a reading.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, okay.
Absolutely.
Well,
I think. Well,
I want to make sure.
Well, you know what? Fuck it. Like you just said, what the hell else are we going to do out here? I don't care. Do whatever the fuck you want. I mean, it's like we have a plan.
Right. Exactly. Well, we do sort of. We have a reading.
Right.
So let's fucking do it. Yeah, this is from a couple days ago. Read it and went, that's not bad. I think I'll put my little bookmark in there and read it on Friday. So here we fucking go. July 23rd. The only courage that matters is the kind that gets you from one moment to the next. Mignon McLaughlin. She was a writer, a journalist, and an author. I did have time to look her up. All right. One of the gifts of recovery is that we become the people we want to be. We want our lives to reflect the new values like honesty, generosity, caring, and fairness. Becoming a new person can be tricky, however, because the reality of living our new values means we have to face life in a new way. Being honest means we stop lying. This includes even quick little fibs that don't seem to hurt anyone. Being generous means we give something up, money, time, attention, in order to give to someone else. Being fair means we accept the consequences we have earned. Living out our new beliefs and values requires courage to face life on life's terms. We stop the slippery behavior we have used in the past to slide past our moments of opportunity. Yes, opportunity to be the person of courage and values that we want to be. Prayer for the day. Higher power, please give me courage today to stand up for what I believe and to do your will instead of looking for an easier, softer way. Today's action, those pesky actions. Today I will think about the day that just passed. Were there moments when I chose the easier, softer way instead of standing up for what I believe in? What could I have done instead?
Okay, so I do want to talk about that. Like choosing the easier and softer way, because obviously that's a topic we talk about a lot. But so we've been sober for a few minutes, right? Not a few 24 hours yet.
Not a few 24 hours, but yes,
a couple number of days, 5,000. God only knows how many. How long have we been reading God Grant Me? You've been reading it for probably what? 13, 14 years?
Yeah, I mean, I pretty much started, right around first year. So
I'm probably 12 years into it, maybe. Okay. So I'm reading that. It might even been that reading, God only knows. But I realized as I'm reading the prayer for the day, it starts off higher power. I'm like, that's kind of, I don't know why that I focused on the word higher power. And I'm like, God, is every one of these prayers addressed to it? So I'm flipping ahead every prayer.
Oh yeah, one of the reasons I picked the book up in the first place.
And again, I mean, how 12 years,
right?
Do the math in a number of days. Literally within the last handful of days, the last 4 days, I just saw that every prayer starts with addresses our higher power. I'm like, I don't know. It's meaningless, but I'm like, how the fuck did I never really? I don't know that weird. It's just weird,
right? Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. Well, first of all, we're doing it early in the morning, so we're not fully awake. And, yeah. But one of the reasons I picked the book up and went, oh, I like this one. Again, right. A year or whatever after, reading the 24-hour book for a year and, God. Yeah, I always thought it was funny that, the title of the book is God Grant Me, but they don't use the word God in the prayers.
Right. Yeah. And it wasn't even the fact that it wasn't God. It was just the fact that I just never noticed that there was an introduction, like a thing in the beginning of like, whether it would be God or higher power. I just never noticed that start off to it. It was weird. I don't know. It just, again, that means nothing to anything that we're doing, but it was just one of those. I'm like, how the fuck? I don't know.
More weird. Will be revealed.
Yes. It'll take you 12 years to notice that the higher power is addressed in each one of the prayers. Okay. Thank you. I got something to look forward to, tomorrow or the next day too.
Sure. Right. You never know what you're going to learn tomorrow.
Jesus Christ. I mean, it just,
or notice or pay attention to or whatever. Yeah. I know. It's kind of nice.
It's just, it was mind blowing. Again, it's not some big revelation. It was just weird. I don't know how all of a sudden you're looking at something. You're like, where did that mark come from? That mark's, has that been there all the time forever? All right, so the easier or softer way, whether it would be today or I don't know, let's go with recent, and because basically that the last part of it said the action part, take a look at the day past, and anytime that you look for the easier, softer way rather than going for your own beliefs or something along those lines, correct?
Right. Yeah.
Anything that pops into your head where you've I don't know, felt like doing that or did?
No. Right. Actually, because I reread it, because like I said, I read it a couple days ago and it was early in the morning and whatever. And I went, that's good. But I always, when I do mark it, I go back and read it again, usually just before we do this, just to make sure that I wasn't completely out of my mind 2 days ago at 6 a.m. I was, but I got the reading right. Anyway, yes. So I went back and reread it and said, thought about it for half a second. And yeah, exactly. It's no. The answer is no. I don't today, which is kind of nice to look back and go, no, I didn't. I mean, do I? I'm sure I do. Occasionally, but not much and nothing big. That's for damn sure. It might be something small where, somebody says something that I don't agree with and I'm, whatever, too fucking tired to fight them about it or whatever, and just let it go. But yeah, the big stuff, the important stuff, I don't let slide by. I don't take that easier, softer way. If it's something that's seriously against the way I believe in things now and whatever, I'm not going to let it slide. Sorry, kids.
Right. Yeah. Well, and that's the thing too, that, and because I even said, as I said it, I didn't mean it. I guess I wasn't thinking that I was saying, thinking about versus doing. I suppose I think about the easier, softer way quite a bit.
Of course.
It's like, God, I'd like to do that. That corner looks very easy to cut right there. Yeah. But again, whether you start cutting a little corner, it's going to be a bigger corner, it's going to be a big fucking thing. But the biggest thing in there was, going outside of my beliefs. And I think, however that was worded, I think that was the gist of it, right? Going outside of our core beliefs or whatever it is. That I can say, I'll say 100%, at least in my head, because that's my feeling towards it. I'm not going to agree with something that I don't believe in. I'm not going to do something that goes against my beliefs. I'm not going to be some fucking chameleon for people that I'm around.
No.
Or situations I'm around. And I used to do that. Something as simple as there was certain types of alcoholic beverages that I preferred. I
Mhm.
was a beer guy, and there were certain types of beer, and I did like, a whiskey and a 7-Up, or,
Uh-huh.
something, a whiskey and a Coke type of thing, like a Jack and Coke, whatever. But there was people that I was with. It's like, okay, this person's drinking this, usually female.
Mhm.
And I'm like, oh, okay, so you're mixing that up, mix me up one too. And,
Sure.
it's kind of got on a rum kick with a couple of people, and, whatever. But those were things that, I was a chameleon, and probably the way I acted around people also, I know I
Mhm.
was, which I just I won't do that anymore. I mean, I am what I am, I was
Yep.
just going to say I'm a t-shirt and jeans guy, like you said, a guy with no style, and I don't fucking care.
Right.
I mean, literally the clothes that I wore. Okay, and I think I might have said this on here before. I don't know. Probably told you when we were in high school. Mom traveled a lot when she worked for General Electric, and I think
Mhm.
one other company, certainly for GE, all over the place. And her thing was, I don't remember if she did for Kathy too. I know specifically for me, but I think maybe for both of us,
Mhm.
she'd buy a T-shirt for whatever town she went to.
Right.
Because we wore T-shirts, and so I had, it was Boston, it was someplace in Texas, it was wherever in California, whatever it was, all
Mhm.
these different places. But I wore T-shirts all the time. Yes, I wore sweaters back then. I don't think you catch me dead in a sweater. I don't like them. I have no desire to wear a sweater. I wear long sleeve T-shirts in the wintertime, and I wear
Yep.
short sleeve T-shirts in the summer.
Mhm.
I can dress up. Oh, little quick memory on Facebook. One of my favorite kind of like casual button up shirts. I just saw a memory when I bought it. It was 10 years ago. I still have it, and it's still in
Right.
great shape. I don't wear it all the
Yeah,
time.
right. Exactly.
But so that's the thing. I am who I am and all I am. But
Mhm.
I don't have any desire whatsoever to change little things like that.
Right.
To try to please somebody. But
Mhm.
I'm afraid to try to change anything else because I know that would hurt me.
Mhm.
And hurt my whole lifestyle, my sobriety, and all that stuff. It's
Right.
the fucking little things.
Yeah,
It is.
absolutely. Yeah. And I mean, well, the other side of the coin or whatever, same damn coin. Right. I mean, I'm not going to change the way I fucking do shit either. Yes, it is, jeans, but they're cut differently, and, t-shirts, but they have different things on them.
Yeah.
And dripping in silver and whatever, they love me when I go through the airport, and I don't
Right.
fucking care.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. But yeah, like you said, this is who I am. This is what I'm going to be. And I, if you don't like it, too fucking bad.
Right.
Look the other way.
Yeah. What are they? What the fuck are they looking at? Me driving into my driveway years ago. That
Yup.
was fucking great. It was fucking great. So, and it talked about obviously the quick fibs, even little white lies, as they said, that
Mhm.
might not hurt anyone.
Right.
And I think those are those are probably the tough ones, the ones that seem easy,
Mhm.
to get by with. But that again, that goes back to the other thing. If I'm willing to compromise on this little thing, when is it going to become just a little bit bigger? It's a
Mhm.
snowball effect. It just is,
Right.
and we've seen all of it from all the no bad examples, as we say. We've seen it from
Right.
people all the time. Well,
Mhm.
maybe I don't need to do, like you said, you don't want to read a fourth book because you don't want to, you don't want to add a fourth book because you don't want to add a fourth book.
Right. Because I don't want to have to take away the fourth book.
Yeah.
Right. If I add the fourth book, then I've got to read 4 fucking books, and I don't want to do that.
No, and I get that, and I am committed now to. I've got my 4, and whenever I added it,
Mhm.
because the fourth thing for me used to be, it was that website in the rooms because they had a daily reading on it,
Right.
and then they stopped sending me, and it was too difficult to try to find this fucking reading every day.
Mhm.
That's when I added a fourth thing,
Right.
But I agree with you wholeheartedly. I'm not going to take away. At this point, literally, I mean, everything I do takes me 15 minutes.
Right.
I'm not trying to say, well, if you read a fourth book, it wouldn't take you much longer. I don't care. I mean, whether you read 3 or 4 books, but the thing of it that I do understand 100% is why you don't want to add one.
Right.
And the same thing with the ending. When G gave us that extra reading, you read it one time, you're like, well, fuck, now I guess I got to read this every
Yes,
goddamn time.
exactly.
And it's fun. It's a great little thing to do. But yeah,
Mhm.
you added something, so you cannot take it away. I understand
Right.
that. But it does. It goes back to the bad shit too. The little lies. They're same thing. Whether it's a work thing or whatever the deal is. If something goes wrong, I want to either cover it up or find somebody else to blame because I don't want to fucking deal with it. I just don't.
Right.
But then you look at it and you're like, oh fuck me. Like, okay, I guess I got to own up to it. Here's what I did. So that just reminded me, and I'm sorry, Kathy, because I know Kathy's going to listen to this, and this did upset her. She was not happy about this. So she has a butter dish. It's like a ceramic butter dish, and it's in the fridge, like hard butter dish, and has the little knob on top to obviously that's how the handle type of thing, but it's a little knob on it. So I don't know. I've been down there for 3 fucking years, and I buy Clausen pickles. I keep them on the same goddamn shelf. She probably has her butter on one shelf or the other shelf. I was putting my pickles away, and all it did was tap the top, and it broke. And I'm like, oh fuck me! And of course, literally the first thing I'm like, I wonder if I could just set it on there and just,
of course,
act like it never happened.
First thought wrong.
I swear to God, that's the first thing that came into my head.
Of course, it is.
And I'm like, there's just, I didn't smash it. I just tapped it and it fucking broke. So, she gets home and I showed her, and you could see this. It hurt her. She's like, "That's my favorite thing," and I've looked before. Right. I'm like, well, I'm sure you can glue it. We can get. I felt terrible. I'm like, I didn't do it on purpose. And she's apologizing to me. I'm like, what the fuck are you apologizing for? Well, she's like, it upset me, but she didn't yell at me.
Right.
But it just, I'm like, Jesus Christ. But yeah, I'm like, how can I cover this up so it wasn't me?
Of course. Yes. Right.
But then again, I don't want to break her shit, and I don't want to hurt her, So there are two things on top of that. But anyhow, so yeah, that just
right. But yeah, right. But you did, and, and yes, you probably could have gotten away with, right. But you can't. We can't. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We have to fucking take responsibility for knocking the knob off a butter dish. Otherwise, we'll be fucking with a handle of vodka the next day, and it won't be good.
Yeah. Well, how'd you get drunk? Well, I lied about the butter dish.
That's right.
Why'd you start drinking again? Well, I had to. I
knocked the knob.
I knocked the knob off. You did what? You don't understand. I can't explain it. But that's what the next thing I wrote down in here was accept consequences. And I don't want to ever. I don't want to accept consequences.
No, of course not. To this day. Absolutely not.
Why the fuck would I want to accept consequences?
Right.
Come on.
But I love the way it's written in here, which I had to open up and look again. Right. Being fair means we accept the consequences we have earned.
Right. Yeah. That and I didn't write down the earn part, but I was shaking my head. Yeah. When you were reading that, because, and it is, you earned it. You earned this talking to, whatever the case is, or whatever the thing is.
Well, whatever. And again, it didn't, it doesn't say negative consequences or positive consequences. True. It says, we accept the consequences that we have earned, good, bad, or indifferent. And absolutely. We get to accept the consequences we earned that were good because we did something good, and we accept the consequences that we earned when we did something bad.
Right. Yeah. That's interesting. I don't think I've ever looked at the word consequence on the positive side.
Sure.
Ever. I seriously don't. I don't think I have. That was a positive consequence. It just doesn't. That almost, I don't know. It doesn't ring right in my head. I understand it,
right?
But I've never thought of it that way.
Choices and consequences. We make good choices, we get good consequences. Make bad choices, we get bad ones.
No, and again, it's I get it, but it just I don't think I've really ever looked at that way. I just always thought of it on the negative side of things. But look at that.
I blame Bob Barker for that. Truth or consequences.
Right.
And there's probably one person that's listening to this that knows what the fuck I'm talking about.
Well, the second Happy Gilmore comes out today, so so I'm sure that people have been rewatching the first one, and Bob Barker's kicking his ass in the first one. So
right. I think, no, they know who Bob Barker is. They don't remember the show Truth or Consequences.
Oh, I got you. Okay, yeah, good point. I was thinking you were saying they didn't know who Bob Barker was.
Oh no, yeah, well, okay, 5 of them know who Bob Barker is.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I think this new crowd of Happy Gilmore lovers probably went back and watched the original one. So I think a lot more people are going to know who that dude is. But
All right.
either way, I think that's great. But the consequence thing, I mean, again, it just opened my eyes to yet another thing this week. But it said, I put the one of the last things I wrote down in here. Well, two other things: become a new person, face life in a new way.
Right.
Everything that we've been talking about, but also that all of these things, when it was talking about at the end, these are all opportunities,
Yep.
and that I do look at on both sides of things that,
Yeah.
again, no bad examples,
Right.
whatever the case is, whatever we are going through in our lives, they're all opportunities. All the shit that we went through, we always talk about the fact that, the things that we went through have worth. Those are opportunities for us to help people, but also for us to learn. And I think also, it's an opportunity for us to go back to that shit if we don't do what we need to do.
Oh yeah.
Because we
There's
know
your
all about
opportunity. That gutter's just waiting for me.
Yeah, that would be a negative opportunity, but opportunity nonetheless. But
Yes.
yeah, I really did. I like that reading. And that one I remember. It's obviously a good one. I think going back to the 24-hour book, it was it might have been today or yesterday.
Yeah.
Same thing. I was getting through the second paragraph, and I'm like, oh my God, there's a lot of gods in this one. So I counted. This was the 10 or 11 God reading. Either today or yesterday, whatever it was. I'm like,
well, I
holy.
mean, today or yesterday is Dyke Day, isn't it?
Yeah, the finger in the dike. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, that was this week. Yeah, keep your
Right.
make your dike strong. Keep your finger in it.
Yep.
And I'm like, that's inappropriate.
It is.
All right, so now that we get all on that thing, anything else with the reading, Mike? Because I think, as I just mentioned, I think it's a good one. But anything else that jumped out on you?
No, I think we have covered that one.
Okay. All right. So, I don't know, well, actually you would, I wrote it down anyhow, but you had mentioned it before we got on here, because it's one of the things this month that we're recording, on a non-Friday. Cause this happens to be, again, not that anyone fucking cares, but for us, this is Friday, which is weird.
Yes.
we haven't had it seems like it's been a while since we've had a Friday, which it really hasn't, but I don't know. This just seems weird. So, your radio gig's coming up again, and I'm getting obviously all the memories on Facebook and all that stuff in the last couple of years. So, do you want to just, I don't know, pitch or talk about your radio gig coming up again? What the deal is again?
Yeah. Real quick. It's, there's a local college radio station here in Cleveland, WJCU. It's John Carroll University, a Jesuit university. Ooh, but there's a show on there called Metal on Metal, hosted by a wonderful man named Bill Peters, and he's been doing it since 1982. So what is that? 43 years now. Yes. And I can do simple math again. Anyway, they have a radiothon. It's community supported. The college only covers I think 30% of their budget, so the rest of the budget is community supported, and I am a part of the community and I support it. So every year I throw them a couple of shekels and go down there, and I get to play my horrible music on their radio station. And and I've talked about it before, but JCU, the first, not the first Friday I was at the Keating Center, but the second Friday. So I'd been there about 10 days or so, 9 or 10 days, and got back from a meeting on a Friday night and was like, fuck, I don't know what to do with myself, because I was 9 or 10 days sober. Well, 9 or 10 days at the Keating Center, so a couple weeks sober. So I started flipping around the radio on a Friday night, and I can't remember if it was the Dead Boys first and then the New York Dolls, or it was the New York Dolls and then the Dead Boys, two of my favorite bands in the entire world. And I was like, what the fuck is this? And it was Adam and Andy doing their Music to Break Things By show, which they don't do anymore, but they did it for like 13, 15 years, something like that. But anyway, JCU, it was my first lying in that bunk in the Keating Center in the dark, with my headphones on, and it was my first glimmer of fuck, maybe I can do this, maybe I can like still be myself, and have a semi-normal life and still have fun and whatever. It was my first glimpse of that. So JCU has a very strong place in my heart. So so I get to go down and help support and hang out. And
Right.
I'm hoping he won't hear this because I'm sure he doesn't listen. But Bill, you'll love this. He was hiking 3-4 he's big hiker.
Really?
Oh yeah, he's been doing it for years, and I mean he's hardcore, miles and miles and out in the mud, and yeah. Anyway, he took a fall a few weeks ago and fractured his tibia. Didn't break it clean, but he fucked himself up pretty good. Had to like get rescued and shit.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So anyway, he's mending, but he might not be there. We're waiting to see. He's convalescing at the moment. He did some time at a place, a rehab center, physical rehab center.
Right.
And he's at his mom's now, but yeah. So, hopefully he's going to be able to hobble in to the studio in a few weeks, but his buddy John's been covering for him. So I might be hanging out with Mr. Roddy. Yeah, we'll see. But anyway, get well soon, Bill. And anyway, so August 22nd. If you are in the Cleveland area, which I know a lot of our listeners are, it's WJCU. It's 88.7 on your FM dial. And for the rest of you folks out there listening on the interwebs, it's www.wjcu.org. And you can stream it. It's also on TuneIn and probably a couple other places. JCU actually has their own app you can download too. So listen to me.
Yeah, and I've I don't know, for the last whatever it is handful of years I've listened through TuneIn. I know I have. I don't know where I listened to before then, but it's easy. It's when you pull it up, it's easy enough. It comes right up on TuneIn.
Yep.
But and as you were going, I was going to make sure you had mentioned the date, so I got August 22nd.
Yep.
And then whatever. I'll leave that up to you when you start promoting it on Facebook. I'll throw it up on our Instagram page as we do, and I know you usually do it the week before, so obviously we'll promote
right, because during the summer there's a bunch of us that go down there and do it, so I try not to step on any toes and just do it my week.
Right. And the other thing too is that for anyone that's listening to us, and we talk enough about this fucking website that we have, SoberNotMature.com, if you go on there on our sponsor page, and I don't remember I don't think you got moved down. I could probably just look at it. One way or the other. Go on our sponsor page, click on there, and you'll see where it says Mike's Radio Gig. We keep the link up there all year.
Yeah.
You get a link to the website. So, you could obviously pop in there. That would take you to the radio station. Worst case scenario. And the only other thing you failed to mention was that if anyone wants to donate a little bit of money to JCU, you can also do that. Go through our website. You get right to the radio station website. And, they're doing good stuff out there. And like Mike said, it's not all supported by the college. It's supported by the good folks like I'm okay. This might not be in a sentence too often. The good folks of this fine city of Cleveland, like Mike. Whoa, wow, Jesus! Hey, give me a minute. I gotta shake that one off.
Right. Well, hey, guess what, kids? It's on the internet forever now.
Good folks like Mike.
Right. But see, there you go. It's one of the things, man. I'm a goddamn upstanding member of my community. Fuck you.
Yeah. Like, oh God, again, I was just watching Breakfast Club when he goes, people love me. I'm a goddamn whatever he says. He's like pillar of the community or whatever he says. And who are they going to believe, me or you piece of shit? We're talking to Bender.
Right.
All right. I'm a swell guy. That's what he says. I'm a swell guy. That's what you are, Mike. You're a swell guy.
I am.
All right. But stay tuned. We'll have more on that on our Instagram page, and we'll mention it coming up. But it's always, and I love the story. I'm glad that you include that every time when you talk about it, because it's important. I was there. You and I weren't really like friends at that point, but I know what you were feeling laying in that fucking bunk in the Keating Center, and I'm sure a lot of people out there do too. that first glimpse of, Jesus, man, I might be able to do this. I
Right.
might be able to be me.
Right. And yeah, be happy.
Yeah. And it was a little glimpse of happiness for you
Yeah.
on a Friday night for fucking years. I
Yep.
mean, you were listening
Oh,
to
yeah.
that, for years. Whenever
Yep.
they went off when did they go off the air? It was after I moved back to Wisconsin. I know
Oh,
that
yeah.
much.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, Adam and Andy. I mean, yeah, Music to Break Things By was huge. I love that show. Love those guys. Went down and did that show a couple of times with them. The last show they did on JCU, their final whatever, they ended up doing like, God, I think they did maybe 6 or 7 hours. I mean, something crazy. Yeah. And I was on the road, and it was, Friday night, so I was coming home, and yeah, I made it down there for like the last half hour of the show. I was in studio. So yeah. They used to always call me super fan.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, you'd do the same thing with the Mummy and the Monkey when you donate. Then you always get a shout out on their show, but they used to shout on their radio show too.
Yep.
So yeah, it was just, I don't know. To me it's a good story. It's I don't know if you want to call it, maybe it is heartwarming story of just those fucked up times at the end. Early recovery is as fucked up as it can feel. Again, to have that moment, it's I don't know. I like the story. So plus it's for a good cause.
Absolutely. All
right. So do we want to talk about I've got actually two things about hikers or hiking. We could do that. We could talk about dead people. We could talk about a snake. I had a snake incident. You want to hear your Wisconsin thing from Facebook? That was also kind of funny.
Sure.
Too. And then one thing about Marc Maron. So which one do you want to hear?
Well, we're going to talk about me. Let's talk about me.
All right. So this was on Facebook when the quick backup. When I moved back to Wisconsin, when I got this job in Wisconsin, literally from the time I was offered the job to the time I started was 3 weeks. And I had interviewed I don't know, a week or two prior to that, maybe a month prior to that. But everything happened really quickly. And I actually went up, picked up my son, and we went out to Sun Prairie, which is a little outside of Madison, actually where my stepsister and her husband had lived. Looked at a place, blah, 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 and, did the whole thing. And literally, again, drove from Ohio, picked up my son. We did the whole bit and went up there. Nice place, maybe a little bit out of my price range, but I mean, it was going to work close enough, all this stuff. And I get back to Ohio, and like within 2 days, they call me and they're like, yeah, you don't fit our credit profile. I'm like, what are you talking about? And at the time I got sober, I hadn't used any credit in years,
Right.
to the point when I bought that first Acura, the guy he didn't want to ask me, but finally he goes, usually the only time we see somebody with no credit score, because I had no credit score when I bought that car. He's like, if you were like in prison. I'm like, no. And I told him, I'm like, I went through bad divorces, whatever. And I'm like, my life was a fucking mess, and I just didn't have the ability, whatever. So they had a criteria there, whatever the credit score was, I didn't fit,
Right.
And I'm like, I told you this. I all this stuff on the phone. They're like, well, so I'm like, now I'm like 2 weeks away or three, literally again, half a week, 2.5 weeks away.
Right.
So I ended up calling. And this is a good thing. I called the central office of Alcoholics Anonymous in Madison, and I'm like, "Here's what my deal is." I'm like, I'm moving out here. I need a place to stay. Do you know any place I can call? Like, yeah, actually, one of our members works at this management company. Blah blah blah. So I call her. She's a member. She had been sober for 20 some years at that point. Gave me 3 options, and she said, based on your criteria, she said, I took everything you said, talked to all these people. You got 3 options, whichever one you want to pick. You'll be, I want to say admitted, but you will get the place.
Will be housed.
Yeah, your application will be accepted. They get where you're coming from. I'm like,
Right.
okay. So
Cool.
I picked the place, and then here was the post. Okay. So it says, this was 12 years ago on Facebook. It says the comment on Facebook says, after I posted where I was, the new place I was going to get, you said, for what it's worth, I get a better vibe from this one than the other. I don't remember what the other one looked like, quite honestly, in my head, but the one that I moved into basically turned out to be a drug house.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's when I read this comment this morning, I'm reading it, I just started laughing and laughing because let me reread Mike's words. for what it's worth, I get a better vibe from this one than the last one. So for everyone out there, my friend Mike, at 3 years sober, got a better vibe about a drug house than he did about some other place. And nobody would have known, but yeah, I mean, when I first moved into it, I mean, it's bad enough. I mean, literally, it was a 4-family. I couldn't. I used to put a fan in front of my door because it didn't seal all the way on the bottom. I put a fan in front of my door to blow the weed smell out of my apartment because it smelled that bad in the entire building. And then, literally the people across the hall from me, you'd see people coming and going all hours so that they were dealing, out of the building.
Right.
And I'm like, Christ. But you know what? Thank you, Mike. You got a better vibe out of that one.
Did.
It's just, again, it made me laugh. No way that either one of us, I would say anyone would have known, but it just, it made me laugh. So, all right. So this is this other one. This is kind of, this is more of a recovery thing, but it came off of the morning show I was obviously listened to. They were talking about optimism versus pessimism, and they were joking back and forth, obviously having a good time. It's a fucking wacky morning show.
Sure. Waka.
Here's the funny part though. They make fun of, that's the funniest part about this radio show that has been this way for years, is they make fun of formatted morning shows.
Sure.
And they're really not. I mean, there's certain things they do. They got to take their commercial breaks. They have to do this. Yeah. They've gotten into this groove and this pattern, how the show runs. So every day what's coming up for the most part. But they just stopped. I mean, against management's direction, they stopped playing music because they didn't feel like it anymore.
Right.
Then they demanded them to play music, so they're like, "Fuck it, we're going to play Hanson 3 times an hour." So they played the song Bop anytime they were supposed to play a song. So just fucking shit like that. But so anyhow, talking about that. So my thought was, do you consider yourself the person you are today? And I know how both of us were when we were drinking. But do you consider yourself to be more optimistic or pessimistic, or does it? And I'll give us suppose some leeway. Does it depend on the situation or even mood?
Yes. As you were, clearly as you were asking it, and I was thinking about it,
pondering.
Right. Honestly, I'm about 50-50 now. Yes, it certainly depends on mood and situation and whatever, but I think it pretty much balance. Ooh, there's that word.
Right.
It balances out today. I mean, clearly, before I got sober, I was, probably 90-10 pessimistic. And today it's, I'm a realist, so I'm not going to be, strawberries and orgasms, hi Heidi, all the time. Right. But I'm about 50-50. I am pretty balanced between my pessimism and my optimism. So right. And trust me, I'm really fucking grateful I've got it there. And I don't see it, again, situation and mood and whatever, it flips back and forth a little bit, but for the most part, I'm fairly optimistic that I'm going to be pessimistic, and I'm fairly pessimistic that I'm going to be optimistic.
Yeah, and the funny part is, the reason I was kind of giggling at that, I was thinking the same thing. I am optimistic to the point where I know well enough. We've been doing this thing long enough, and taken plenty of direction, and thankfully got our heads, the pop happened some years ago for the most part, of our heads popping out of our asses. So I know for a fact that the shit's going to work out.
Right.
But it doesn't take away from the fact that I'm a pessimist with an optimistic outlook. Right.
Yes.
And I think that's the only way that I can put it, because like I said, I mean, same thing I always talk about, I'm this, I'm not negative. I live in this well of whatever that I'm always trying to work my way out of, to a certain extent, but I know shit's going to work out, but maybe I just need that. I need to grumble and go, well, fuck this, blah, blah, blah. Fuck you, motherfuckers. Yeah, but it's going to be okay. It's okay. It's
right.
Right.
Yeah. We're all doomed, but we're going to be all right.
Let me fucking grumble for a minute. I know shit's going to be okay, but I want to grumble. Just for a minute or two. That's it. I'm not going to live in my grumble.
Right. And again, I look around and I go, yeah, we're fucked. We're seriously fucked, but we're going to be okay.
Yeah,
I'm going to be okay. I don't know about the rest of you assholes, but feel kind of sorry for some of you, but I'm going to be all right. It's going to be, it's going to be on fire around me and it's going to smell real bad, but I'm going to be okay with it.
Yeah, and it just, I mean, the biggest thing, and I see it too. I go to the gas station, I go to the fucking grocery store, and I watch, especially when my money's tight like it is. I watch what I buy, and I know how much shit costs. I know the thing. I know how much I've paid for stuff. I pay attention to it. I'm not a mom used to, and she had to. She had a list, and then she had this little. It was almost like did I ever tell you about this? It was like a almost looked like a plastic stopwatch, which you could add money on it. And so she had like a handheld, almost like adding machine. So
I remember those. Yeah.
And she was going through the grocery store, and I never thought anything of it, but I know what she was doing. She's like, if I'm getting to this certain point, we don't need, we can have Cheerios versus, Captain Crunch. So I know what she was doing, and I'll say it again. We never knew. I don't remember ever knowing or ever feeling like we had no fucking money. But I know, based on what she told us and stories and all looking back, I know that she didn't have a lot of money and she struggled. But we never felt that, which I give her all the credit in the world for it. And to this day, I mean, there's certain things I'm like, God, I don't need to spend $6 on a fucking jar of pickles. I want them, but I don't need to,
right.
And can I buy this versus that type of thing? So we all see it. And then, to see the fucking knob and all the politicians and all those sort of things. And,
well, just, you talk about, being in the grocery store or being at the gas station and looking at some of these fuckers and knowing that their favorite show in the entire world is The Masked Singer. It's like, oh my God, I'm surrounded by these people.
Right. Yeah. I got you. It just, I don't know. I see people online. I see the posts. I see all this different stuff. And, people are so angry and tied up and just wrapped up in all these different things. And again, like you just said, I don't think that either one of us, neither one of us are blind to the fucking tragedies that are happening in certain circumstances. We're not blind to the fucking bullshit that's going on.
Right.
But I'll be fucking damned if I'm going to let that ruin my life.
Right. Yeah.
Now, granted, we are not highly affected by it. Maybe, there's, again, certain individuals and classes of people and all those sort of things. I'm on the phone every once in a while and trying to get a hold of a business owner in whatever state. Let's just say Texas. And I talked to this one guy, and he's like, he goes, my business isn't running anymore. And I said, what do you mean? He goes, I got deported. He goes, I had a great business, but he goes, I came on, he goes, I'm not afraid to tell you about it. He goes, I came on a visa, whatever. And he goes, I let it run. And he goes, I get fucking deported. And he goes, my business is there, but I can't, I'm not. It's like, I don't know, whatever, I work my shit out. Maybe I'll come back there. Maybe I'll pay my bill.
All right.
And I'm like, and then I talked to a couple other people who are like, oh yeah. He's back in Mexico now. You're not going to get a hold of him. I'm like, okay, I got it. Again, not laughing at him. I'm just like, okay, there it is. That's the reality. But I don't know. Yeah, it's the again, I think I'm a pessimist with an optimistic attitude, and like you, 50-50. That's a great way to put it. It depends on the mood. How that balance beam is going to sit one day or the other, and I think both of us try to do our best to stay on the optimistic side, right?
Yeah, I try. Some of these fuckers make it really difficult for me, but yes, I try.
Yeah, that's pretty much all we could do. Okay, well, all right, I got other little highlights here and some other shit, but I don't know. Looking at the time, what do you think, Mike? Should we take a break?
You know what? I think we need to take a break, and we'll be right back with some dead people right after these words from our sponsors.
Hey, Mike, I have a question for you.
All right, I may have an answer for you.
So if you're one of our fine listeners and you wanted to know a little bit more about the podcast, more than just listening to us ramble, where would you go as a listener? What do you think you'd do?
I believe you would go to SoberNotMature.com.
Ding. Okay, good. Now, next question is, what if you've been, I don't know, seeing us on social media, you've seen our t-shirts, you've seen some of the pictures we posted, and the person's like, you know what? I want to be cool like those guys and get a t-shirt or a coffee mug. where would they go for that? I know this is a tougher question, but where would they go for that one?
They would go to SoberNotMature.com.
They could do that. Yes, you're right. Because once you're on SoberNotMature.com, they can hit the store link and go to our second website, which is SoberNotMatureShop.com.
See, I was going to say store. I'd have screwed it up.
You know what? The thing of it is you got it right the first time. Everything people want is at, go ahead with the first website,
SoberNotMature.com.
And if you mess around on there, you're going to see everything we have. Obviously, we have our merchandise. See a little bit about us, a little bit about our background. We posted some other things on there, but I don't know. You can even sign up for our email list. And here's the good thing. We barely email anyone ever, so you're not going to get spammed.
Oh, no, absolutely not. That would be like effort on our part, and that's not going to happen.
Right. I have never used our mailing list yet. I may at some point, but that would take structure and discipline, which I don't think either one of us have, do we?
I know I don't.
All right. So just to wrap up here, to visit our main website and get to everything that is us, where would they go, Mike?
SoberNotMature.com.
Visit that today, right?
Right.
Okay, I think we're done. Are you done?
I'm done.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, everyone. Welcome back.
How's that for optimistic?
Well, you know what? We were going to get to the dead people anyhow, and I figured that after the break would be the best time. But I'm glad you eased into that. So, there was I know there was at least, and this was a weird fucking week.
Yeah.
I mean, I think everyone knows Ozzy died. Everyone knows Hulk Hogan died. Malcolm Jamal Warner drowned.
Right.
Fucking Costa Rica, the tide took his ass out.
Yep.
He was our age, a couple years younger.
Yeah.
I just saw today, you know who Chuck Mangione is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he died, and I was thinking, I'm like, motherfucker. I mean, he was out of all of them, he was like 84 or something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, he died because he was 84.
Right.
The way that I look at it, no offense to him or anyone else that hits that, but if you hit 80 or goddamn close to it these days, and you were a decent person, fucking see you. Farewell in a lovely way.
Yes.
Thank you. And it reminded me of, and I had to look up the song because I couldn't figure out the name of it, but it's called Feel So Good was like one of his big hits.
No, it was, kind of the only hit, but yeah.
Was it really? I don't know. I remember that one because that was one of Mom's favorite songs.
Oh, yeah, it was huge. Yeah. It was a monster.
It was a monster, Jerry. But there was some other lady that died too, and I can't remember. Who
Connie Stevens.
There you go. And I couldn't remember where she was from.
Right. Well, she was a singer in like the 50s.
Was she? Okay. Yeah. I couldn't remember, but yeah, fucking Ozzy.
Connie Francis.
Okay.
Yeah, not Connie Stevens. Stevens was an actress. Whatever, some Connie broad from a long time ago. Again, old.
I would have bought it either way. You were fine. Fine. So somebody's out there yelling at the recording.
Yeah, right.
Going, it was Connie this.
It was Connie Francis, not Stevens. What the fuck's wrong with you?
If you guys got a minute, we'll tell you exactly what's wrong with us.
You're gonna need more than a minute.
Yeah, if you listen, you don't even have to ask a question. What's wrong with us? We just say shit. Half the time I'll listen back to the recording. I'll say the opposite. I'll say whatever the opposite word is. It changes my statement into a negative than a positive. And I'm like, did I just say that I did do that versus didn't? I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ.
Right.
And then neither of us catches it.
No, right.
All right, so I don't know. Out of all of those, I mean, Hulk Hogan surprised me. That was cardiac arrest. I mean, the guy's I thought he was in decent shape. I mean, he wasn't that old. Yeah, but no, probably steroided up and whatever.
Oh yeah,
right. Yeah. So who knows?
A little bit of cocaine in there too.
Oh, was it really? Okay.
God,
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on, all them wrestler dudes from the '80s. Jesus Christ, they're all jacked up.
Yeah, and you know what? I knew him. I never followed him very closely. I never followed professional wrestling very closely. So I didn't really know any of that. But I started thinking, I'm like, the lifestyle, whatever. I didn't know about the coke and whatever. So
I mean, you've seen The Wrestler, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Good point. But yeah, Ozzy, and so a couple of things about that. Right.
And Fozzy.
Yeah, but I forgot to bring it up. Whatever it was when after they had the final Black Sabbath thing.
Mm-hmm.
Did you hear how much money they made for that charity?
Oh yeah, like almost $1 billion.
It was like I thought it was 190 million.
Yeah. Okay.
But
All right. Yeah.
But whatever. It was the whatever amount it was the most that any charity event had
Right.
ever made,
Mhm.
which kind of blew my mind. But I'm like, God damn, good for them, you know.
Yeah.
And then I'm flipping through either Facebook. I might have been through Facebook at lunchtime, and then I popped on Instagram, and I saw some again like Ozzy playing a guitar, and it looked like something coming out of his body. I'm like, well, that's kind of a weird picture. And then I saw it later. I'm like, did he fucking die? And I'm like, you know, because you think about it, like I didn't hear it. I mean, okay, let's step back. I know he's had health issues for fucking years. I get it.
Right. Yeah.
He hasn't been in great health for the last handful of years, but
Right.
I hadn't heard anything of a critical nature, and then just okay, he's dead. So
Yeah.
it was surprising, but and then I'm like, well, one way or the other, we're going to bring it up because I was thinking that I'm from the Black Sabbath side of things, whatever. I'm like, I think you kind of like them, yes.
Oh,
Then no.
Sabbath? Yeah. Yeah.
That's what I thought.
All right.
But
well, I mean, all right. You want to?
Yes. Yes.
Ozzy was always the weakest link in every band he was ever in. Okay. Somebody's got to say it. I just did. I loved Ozzy. Okay. Ozzy was a character. Ozzy was, bigger than life. And, he was a unique individual. He was fucking Ozzy. There's no other. But as far as, being a great front man, a great songwriter, a great vocalist, no, none of those things. But he was fucking Ozzy. He epitomized fucking rock and roll, man. God bless him. I loved Ozzy, but he wasn't. I'm sitting all the tributes and all this stuff. Everybody's missing the point. He was fucking Ozzy. He was. I mean, watch him. The guy was an awful front man. He's standing up there bouncing around, clapping his hands. I mean, he's an idiot. He was awful. But the cool thing about Ozzy, and we're going to bring it back to some sobriety shit, is, he was sober for pretty close to 10 years when he died. He found some peace and some serenity finally, and that's just a fucking beautiful thing, and that's something to be celebrated.
Right.
Guy he wasn't a great vocalist. He didn't write shit. I mean, his biggest hit, Mama, I'm Coming Home, fucking Lemmy wrote. I mean, yeah, Geezer wrote all the lyrics and the Sabbath stuff. I love Black Sabbath. Black Sabbath had one of the most incredible rhythm sections ever in rock and roll, ever, ever, ever. Tony Iommi is a fucking riff master. Beautiful, great. And then there was fucking Ozzy, who got in the band because his dad bought him a PA. So yes, Ozzy was fucking Ozzy. He was an incredible character, entertainer, fucking brand, beautiful rock and roll, wonderful, but he wasn't all that. So everybody settled down.
Well, and here's the thing, and I thought from quite honestly that's what for whatever reason, and I don't know that we've ever sat down and had. Well, I'm going to say probably not, but probably in passing, we've never really sat down and had a conversation about just Black Sabbath or just Ozzy or even both. You know what I mean?
Right.
But for whatever reason, I'm like, I know you were okay. Part of me, I'm like, I'd be surprised if you weren't a Sabbath fan. But I thought you were based on everything I know about you.
Right.
But I'm like, I think there's something weird about Ozzy with him, but I don't know. But here's the thing, and here's the reason that, just to explain, from my, I don't even want to say in my defense, but my position with my friend Mike when it comes to music, I ask him sometimes, so what do you think of this?
Right.
And every once in a while, I get shocked either on the positive or the negative, or just the medium.
Right.
I'm like, really, you have no opinion? You're like, eh. I'm like, okay, I'll say this name. And
right.
Like, take him or leave him, good, bad.
Right.
I'm like, okay, so you don't hate him? No. No, but I don't really like them either. I'm like,
right.
Okay, so no issues. No, yeah.
No.
And then, whatever had happened, we
Big
were
bowl of okay.
whatever happened to me. But this is the same guy that wants Eric Clapton dead,
Yeah.
but also the same guy that, went, saw Boy George or Culture Club at the time.
Right.
The same guy that likes the song A Horse with No Fucking Name.
Oh, I love America.
And then so hopefully everyone can understand why I'm sometimes confused about what I'm going to get. But here's what I always appreciate about my friend Mike is it's always fucking entertaining to me. And it doesn't matter. I don't care if I happen to play a song that he hates, or I tell him a band that I've liked or listened to, whatever the case is, it's always entertaining to me. I remember sitting at Kathy's one time, we were talking about whatever it was. And the Backstreet Boys came up somehow. I said, there's a few of the songs. And you looked at me, you're like, you like the Backstreet Boys? I'm like, not as a band, but I said, there's 2 or 3 songs that are location songs for me. Right. They remind me of people, places, and things that make me really happy, and they're great memories. And you're just like, oh, okay, you went out with your life.
Yeah, right.
and I know you don't give a fuck about the Backstreet Boys, no. And neither do I, but they're, again, those things. So, yeah, and it just, I don't know, that's kind of what I thought, but I don't know, the thing of it is, from in everything you just said about Ozzy, I think is, I agree with, because he was, I mean, I played a couple of songs just the other day when I was running up to the store, after he had died. I'm like, there's a few songs that I really enjoy, and other ones I'm just kind of like, I've heard them for fucking ever, they just are what they are. But just playing a couple of songs like that, now it's like every mix of songs I play, they throw some Ozzy in there, which is fine. I'm fine with it.
Right.
But in listening to it, I'm like, nobody's got it. I've never ever heard a song and been, God, is that sort of sounds like Ozzy? Is that Ozzy?
Right. No, yeah, you definitely know. Exactly.
Right. Yeah.
Right, which I appreciate. It's not that it's fucking fantastic, but it's fucking Ozzy. Yeah, right. Which is more than enough.
Right. Yeah. And then, back to the show, the Osbournes and all that stuff. And they had him on, they were talking about him in the morning show because they had him on there a couple of times. And,
right.
They kind of manhandled him a little bit because he was going off on a tangent about something that, like, one of the guys like, come on, Ozzy, that's not true. Whatever you're talking about, whatever. Let's get back to whatever it was. So they kind of fucked with him a little bit. He just came back to, he got real again. But, it's just, I don't know. It is what it is. But, surprising only in the fact that it's like, not that he was on his deathbed, and like, not that it was somebody was on, it wasn't like Ozzy Death Watch, and then then he died. It's just all of a sudden I'm scrolling through fucking Facebook, I'm like, Jesus Christ, fucking Ozzy died.
Yeah.
What the fuck? So anyhow, no, that was it. And then it's just a handful of people that were in there, and the one with the whole Chuck Mangione thing that just reminded me of Mom and that song, and I don't know, it just all these things. I mean, fuck, Ozzy's been, that's what a lot of these people are like, he's been around my entire life. I'm like, same thing again. This every time there's some of these people that died that are older people, older than us. He's been around my entire life. Yeah, I know.
That's how math works.
Do the fucking math. We get it. No, saying that he was a part of your life, I get it. So here's my question. I know that Lemmy was a big one for you when he had passed, but is that your? And I'm not putting words in your mouth, but out of musicians that have passed in your adult life, or musicians that were around, was there one that I don't even want to say affected you, but one that kind of said, "Fuck, really fuck" on that one?
Yeah, I mean, Lemmy definitely. This will throw you for what? Jerry Reed.
No. That's I get that one. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that was tough. Just because whatever, man. I love Jerry Reed. Always have. As a performer, as an actor, as a writer, as a guitar player. Jesus Christ, he was an amazing guitar player. That was a rough one. I don't know. Yeah. I mean, the ones that get older, and there's a bunch of them, and it's going to keep fucking coming, man. I mean, there's, in their 80s and their 90s. I mean, clearly when Lennon was shot, that was a fucking, that was horrible. I mean, I was 14, you were what, 12?
Yeah, we were in.
Yeah.
I remember we were in Pittsburgh at the time,
Right.
and I remember we were driving down Route 8 in Pittsburgh when either
Yeah.
it came on the radio or I remember specifically
Yeah.
that either Mom talked about it or whatever the deal was. But yeah, I remember when it happened.
Yeah. I mean, I was, I actually had just moved to California, and yeah, like a big part of the nation, man. Fucking, I had Monday Night Football on in the background. Sitting there doing my homework or some bullshit. And yeah, they came on and said John Lennon just got shot. So what the fuck, man?
Right.
Yeah, so that was, I was a huge Beatles fan when I was a kid, whatever. So yeah, that one was rough. I don't know, man. They're all going to be dropping dead soon, so yeah, gird your loins, kids, because, Mick Jagger and fucking, it's coming.
Yeah, well, they the one meme that I saw, they showed a picture of Ozzy and then Keith Richards, and they said the line under Keith Richards was Keith Richards worried now.
Yeah,
and I'm like Jesus Christ, and they're I don't know. I've heard Keith Richards' name brought up a couple of times, and then somebody find Willie Nelson and put bubble wrap on him.
Yeah.
Yeah, like yeah, Willie's fucking old as fucking dirt, but I mean, what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Yeah, the one, and I've talked about it before, but I mean, Eddie Van Halen was probably the big one. I didn't cry over it or anything like that, but I mean, he was just part of my, from the time I was a kid, whatever that was, 75, I think.
70, the first Van Halen album.
78, maybe.
78, yeah, somewhere in there.
Yeah, so I mean, you figure, from the time I was, 10 years old, because I had that first album, and that first album was, can we call it legendary?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And yeah, just a fucking just great. I mean, Taylor Hawkins shocked me, because that was what it was. But I don't know. I mean, but yeah, like you said, Jerry Lewis, or Jerry Lee. I mean, I get that.
Jerry Reed.
Jerry Reed. Did I say Jerry Lee? I'm sorry, Jerry Reed.
I mean, Jerry Lee Lewis was, but he was older as shit and all beat up too.
Yeah, I meant Jerry Reed. Sorry about that.
Right.
But
how about Jerry Lewis? Did that affect you when he died?
No, not at all. Not at all.
Any Jerry's?
No, I don't think so.
All right. How about when Seinfeld dies?
Jerry Garcia? No.
Did a little dance when that happened.
Yeah. I mean, Seinfeld. I like Seinfeld. I mean, I'd be bummed out when he's gone. I just enjoy him as a human being, and with a comedian or whatever it is. But I don't know. It's just Chris Cornell. I mean, I love fucking Chris Cornell. I don't know that you take a look back at a lot of these. I mean, Kurt Cobain. I mean, it was revolutionary in the type of music that they did, and so Cornell was too. I mean, bringing all that shit around. But I don't know. It is what it is. Ozzy was like you said. It's the best way to put it. Ozzy was fucking Ozzy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, and there was nobody like him, and he was like nobody, and yeah, so that's what was cool about Ozzy. He was fucking Ozzy. Yeah. Other than that, he was Ozzy.
No, and you know what? I agree with you, and I don't think that's a harsh way to explain it. I think that's a truth. That it's the same thing we talked about when Mom died.
Right.
Just because somebody died, you don't have to. They didn't just become a fucking saint. They didn't everything they did. They just because Ozzy died doesn't make him the best musician on earth. Now, your opinions of all those different things. I mean, now when you mentioned, I'm like, okay, I never knew or paid attention enough to him or any other band member, with the exception. I mean, again, Eddie Van Halen, I knew he was a fucking shit. I mean, it doesn't take you. You could be blind. You could be. Well, Stevie Wonder knew that Eddie Van Halen was good. Sorry, Stevie.
Yeah, he'll be going soon too.
Yeah, he won't see that coming. Oh
no. Or will he?
Jesus Christ, that makes it even weirder. Okay, but no. Anyhow, I don't know. He was fucking Ozzy. I think we can leave it at that now. All right, so this was just kind of funny, and this is just I wrote this down only because I do have a point of asking this question. So I'm watching this show on Netflix, and it's called Untamed, and basically it's kind of a murder mystery type of thing. Some short series on that's the big thing. Netflix does a lot of these 8 or 9 or 10 episode like miniseries type of things now, which there's a lot of them. I've enjoyed them, and this one takes place in Yosemite, so it's beautiful and all this different stuff. And so this chick ends up dying It's positive, it's a good feel
Sure.
good show.
Well,
But
all
she ends up dying. She fell off a cliff, mysterious death. They're obviously looking into it the whole bit. But they try to ID her, okay?
right.
And they ran fingerprints. They're like, oh, we'll run her fingerprints, we'll get an ID.
Yeah.
It comes back and like, yeah, there's no match. And I'm like, see it fucking happen,
Hmm.
And my question was to you, Mike.
Yes.
When you kick it, especially if you're out in the middle of the woods, you have no wallet or anything like that. If they run your fingerprints, they're gonna find you, right?
Oh yeah, they're gonna find me.
Okay, and they're gonna find me too. And
Right.
I've been fingerprinted for negative reasons a handful of times, but I've had to do it one place for a company I applied for a job for.
Mhm.
It was like an extensive background check, including
Right.
fingerprinting. I remember what job it was. Maybe it was for a bank I applied with years ago. But I know I did it I had to do it for getting licenses for company I worked with. We had out of state licenses. I was like the manager taking the test, so I had to be fingerprinted. Same deal. So I've been fingerprinted on a positive standpoint probably 3 or 4 times.
All right.
And I'm thinking, I just don't. And I mean, Grant, she was in her 20s, I think, maybe 20,
Right.
mid 20s. But I'm just like, how do you? Is it just because I'm a fucking degenerate that I've been arrested 5 times that I've been fingerprinted for? Okay, it's just my first thought was, how the fuck this isn't real?
Mhm.
Make it
Oh, yeah.
realistic. You
Sure.
can't find her by fingerprints.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you never get caught, and
Yeah.
or you never do anything to be caught, and whatever. I mean, there are people. I mean, I think I don't know. They like do it in school. I mean, I think I
these
remember
days?
maybe the first time. I mean, I think actually the first time when I was a kid in the 70s, we may have been fingerprinted in
Really?
school. Yeah.
If we were, I don't remember.
Right.
I know.
But
First
yeah,
of all,
I mean, but I mean, there are people who, go through certainly into, your mid 20s, they go through their lives and there's no reason for them to be fingerprinted for anything. So,
right?
yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, first time
Not
for
to
me
us,
was,
but it
I think by the time I was, because I got my DUI in probably 94. God, shit, by that time I'd probably been fingerprinted at least twice, if not 3 times.
Mhm.
That would have been my third for my DUI.
Right.
Yeah, but anyhow, I don't know. It's just, again, mind blowing. That meant nothing about anything except for the fact that it just blew my mind. I'm like, that's not fucking real. How could that happen?
Right.
All right, so I got a couple other fun things here in a minute, but I'm gonna continue. As you joined us last week, I was going down a list of old shit that I had.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pick up where we left off. How's
All
that?
right.
All right. So speaking of the 24-hour book,
Mhm.
God. No, sorry. It says, I pray that I may delay action until I feel that I'm doing the right thing. I pray that I may not rush in alone. Okay. So my
Mhm.
parentheses is, do you feel like you rush into things or do you delay action? Do you think that either one is your deal, Wade, or no?
No. I mean, I procrastinate a little still, but not much, not much. If there's something that needs to be done, I tend to do it fairly in a timely manner. Yeah, I certainly don't rush into things anymore. I don't. So
Right.
yeah, I think I'm doing all right on both counts there.
Yeah, and I know. Well, I know I was worse in the first few years. Shit,
Mm-hmm.
I think back, and I mean, the rushing into stuff. Yeah, I mean, I
Right.
was ready to just fucking hit the ground running, and I wanted to do everything,
Right.
and not thinking. Whereas, now I still
Mm-hmm.
sometimes I'll leap a little bit, but
Right.
not as much because I mean, well, I mean, I've said it on here, 100 times probably by now. I've grown to the fact where I don't trust myself,
Right.
and I think that's a good way to put it. Is
Mm-hmm.
that I thought I trusted myself more when I didn't know any better. Like
Of course.
early in sobriety, I'm like,
Right.
I'm fine now.
Yep.
That was the old me. All my my best thoughts and efforts were there, not
Right.
anymore. But now I know better,
Yeah.
So when I've got big decisions or stuff like that, I mean, I talk about them. I mean,
Yeah.
even with planning these trips, I'm looking at I was looking at trying to go someplace because I mean we're going to be in Ohio and this and that, kind of bouncing around over the
Right.
next few weeks, and
Mm-hmm.
I was going to try to go someplace over Labor Day weekend, like wrap that week around, so I was someplace so I could be the 3-day thing.
Yeah. Right.
Have more time kicking around.
Uh-huh.
But as I was looking around, and I want to go to the southern part of Illinois. There's that Shawnee National Forest, because my thought was I don't want to go too far.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of keep it again. Try kind of money down.
Sure.
Not spending hundreds on gas and whatever. Keep it semi close.
Yeah.
But it's expensive. And if
Yeah.
I get a place that's relatively decent, then I'm an hour and a half away. Then I'm back into spending the money on gas. So I may just do a weekend thing. But really, when it came down to it, like I'm better off. I can spend $275 and for a weekend, basically a 2-night type of thing, 250, 250, rather than spending, having to spend like, $600-700.
Right.
But even when I'm looking at that stuff, I start looking and then I let it sit, then I'll look again, then I let it sit, then I'll reach out and then I let it sit.
Mm-hmm.
I do a lot of good
Right.
a good procrastinating, but
Yes.
I procrastinate in a bad way a lot too.
Sure.
But I don't know. I guess you're right. I do both, but thankfully I'm not as quick to jump as I was 10 years ago.
Yes, that is a good thing.
10, 12 years ago. All right. So next one, and this was just a question I had. I don't remember if this came up probably on a podcast I was listening to or one of the leads.
Mm-hmm.
Was it difficult for you when you first got sober to share your story? And I mean, whether it was in a meeting or standing up for your first lead, I don't know. Did you feel like it was difficult at all sharing your story right away, whatever that initial time frame was?
Right. Well, I mean, first lead is after a year, so
Right.
hopefully, yeah. I mean, I'm sure there were details of my story that I wasn't all that comfortable sharing in the beginning, just because I still hadn't processed them. Well, hell, I hadn't done a 4th step yet, so
Right.
and a 5th step, so yeah, but once those were done, and yeah, no, it's certainly not too difficult anymore.
Right.
Shit happened and now it's not happening. So yay.
Yeah, and you know what the thing of it is, and I don't mind doing getting up and doing a lead, and
Right.
you and I are of the same mindset where I try to start my lead off the same way every time,
Mhm.
just with the basically starting off with my last drink,
Right.
because it's that last 30-day period is a pretty good wrap up of who I was. And
Mhm.
I don't need more than that first 5 minutes to explain what a fucking dickhead I was, and
Right.
degenerate and all that stuff. And where
Mhm.
I ended is an easy example right there.
Right.
But from there, I mean, I never know what I'm going to talk about. I got probably highlights in my head,
Yeah. Right.
of certain things, if my kids are probably going to come up, and the Keating Center is going to come up,
Mhm.
and the great things that I've been able to do, and the relationships I was able to rebuild. But a lot of times I'll get done with a lead, and I'm like, God, I didn't talk about that. I'm like, well,
Yeah.
apparently it wasn't very important today.
Exactly. Right. Yeah. Well, I actually got to do it this week.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah. At the Keating Center.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah. It was a guy, Tim. Do you remember Tim? Kind of a shorter dude. You'd know him if you saw him. Anyway, yeah, he's back around, and he was at Puritas on Sunday, and he asked me if I would lead on Monday, and I first said no. Well, no, I had a PA run Monday, so I was like, shit, I don't know if I'll make it back. I don't want to say yes if I can't. And then I went, you know what? I'll make it happen. So I did.
That's cool.
Yeah, so it was cool. It was very cool. There were actually some faces in there that we know and love and whatever. They're there. Again. Blackley says hi.
Yeah.
Yeah, Roger.
Right.
And actually it was funny. Roger commented, he was like, yeah, I remember. Cause in my lead, I always, like you said, I never remember, or I never know what I'm going to say, but there are a couple points that I always make sure I hit. And one of them, of course, is my atheism, and because I want to share with the new guy, which is what the fuck I'm doing up there, is showing the new guy that this shit works. So don't freak out about the higher power thing early on, blah, blah, blah. So I tell that story and whatever. So Roger got up and commented. He's all, yeah, I remember you when you came in. And I was like, I remember you too. But he was all, yeah, I remember looking at him going, yeah, that guy doesn't believe in God. He's not going to last. But look at you, he had a nice comment about it. But, I was like, yeah. And look who's back at the Keating Center and I'm not. Because I'm a dick that way.
Yeah, and it's so weird, and for anyone out there, I mean, we talked about the Keating Center enough, and it's been, I mean, with the exception of that event, whatever it was, a year and a half ago, I think, we were back there when I was back there,
right?
I haven't been to a meeting at the Keating Center in, well, I've never been to a meeting at the new place,
right?
But every time we go back there, especially when you were doing group, you walk in there and like, holy fuck, man, this dude's here again,
Yep.
And I don't mean that. I mean that sort of in a bad way, but not really in a bad way.
Right.
I'm judging, but then again, I'm thankful that they made it back.
Right. Of course.
But I don't know. Just part of me sometimes I'm glad that I don't understand. Well, I do understand, but I don't want to completely understand, because then I wouldn't be where we wouldn't be where we're sitting right now if we completely got it. We're like, oh yeah, well that makes sense why you're
yeah,
back.
Sure. And I mean, not completely, but I thoroughly understand it. I mean, yes,
yeah.
I mean, this is your first time and blah blah blah. Not mine. So I mean, I do understand. Probably a little more than you do.
Right.
And that's, whatever that's fucking worth. Not much. But yeah, I mean, again, but we do understand. We know the reason, yeah, they stop doing the fucking thing, man. It is that simple. And it's a fucking drag, man. And it's like, God, man, just don't. Just keep and that's exactly how I ended my fucking lead. I was like, just keep fucking doing this thing, man. And it's going to be okay. And your life will be better than you ever thought it's going to be. Because mine is.
Right.
Me. Look at me, assholes.
Well, and that's the thing. When we were talking about the AA sayings that I don't like the saying, keep coming back. I don't.
Right.
I never have, because even though nobody means for it to like, okay, relapse and keep coming back. Nobody means that.
Right.
But it's in my mind, that's what it means.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's a nice little loophole.
Yeah. And that's why at the end of my lead, I always tell people, I'm like, I've said that for a number of years. I said, I agree with all the one day at a times and the, obviously time take all the different things, all the cliche sayings that we want to talk about. But I said, I don't like keep coming back. I'm like, just stay.
Yep.
All you got to do is stay. It's a hell of a lot easier. All that you got to do.
Yep.
There's no fucking reason to come back. Stay. I mean, hey, granted, I'm glad you're here. But you don't have to do that again.
Right. Yep.
So it just it pains me to see it, but you said it. I mean, we have people stop. We know why.
Yeah.
But that's good. I'm glad you got to lead, especially the Keating Center. That's nice. So did you talk about me?
In the lead,
I'm just fucking around.
I don't know, man. Yeah, maybe. I don't know what the fuck I said.
That was just a complete joke. Like, hey, wait, did you talk about me? Did she ask about me? Did they talk about me?
Like I said, like Bob said hi. Bob said hi.
True.
Yeah.
I know. It's just it's funny. That's part of my prayers every night. I'm thankful and grateful for, and I am.
Yep.
And I'm thankful and grateful that to this day we haven't had to go back there to stay overnight, as you say.
Right. Exactly. I love this place, but I don't ever want to spend the night here again.
All right, I get a couple of since we're getting, I don't want to say short on time, but I see what the time is. Okay, so if you want to hear, so Marc Maron was on Rob Lowe's podcast recently.
Okay.
it popped up on a Spotify suggestion. I'm like, was he on there? Was that recent? And it was within the last month or so.
Okay.
And now the thing with it is, I've said before, I enjoy Rob Lowe. I think he does a really good job, very conversational. I think he's a good podcaster, and I mean that sincerely.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoy him as everything else that he does too. I like him, but he runs a good show.
Yeah.
So he's got Mark on there, and he even said, he goes, I was kind of nervous having you on. You're kind of the OG of this and that. Mark's like, oh yeah, he kind of did this and this. But so they go through the whole thing. And they're talking. And Mark's got like 3 big things going on right now. He's got the, his special's coming out next month, I think. HBO, I'm going to have to sign up for fucking HBO just to watch it. Because Kimmy and Brian, they cut back, and that's one of the things they cut out, which I'm like, I don't watch anything on HBO. I'm like, his fucking special's going to be on HBO. But so he's got the special coming up. He's got the Apple TV thing, Stick, which just ended, which is good. I enjoyed it. Kind of a campy little thing, but I think he did well. He's in some movies, does a voiceover in The Bad Guys or something like that, some cartoon thing.
Yeah.
He's got this documentary that they did. So he's got a few things coming up, So he's going through and he's talking about, I think he was talking about his, he was talking about the, I think Shtick or whatever it was, or Stick. And Rob starts and he's like, oh, and he goes, like Mark was telling a story, but they got off on a tangent. And then Rob starts talking about something else, kind of like clearly going into some other area. And then, so Rob's starting to switch gears with him, not forcing it, but then Mark's like, he's like, yeah. He goes, I'll get to that. He goes, let me finish this first. I'll bring it around. And I'm like, that's fucking Mark right there.
Yeah.
I mean, like, because that's how he runs his podcast.
Right.
And it was so funny because, I'm sure if this would have been on video, Rob just would have been like sitting there, like sitting on his hands for a minute. Mark didn't say it like a dick or anything like that. He was running as a guest. He was still running the podcast, but not in a weird way, you know? But I just sat back and I'm like, that's a fucking professional there. That dude's got his shit together, you know? So anyhow, if you get the chance, it was a good episode. I mean, Mark does a lot of talking, and at the end, Rob's like, he goes, it really was. He goes, I was nervous. He goes, worst case scenario, Mark says this. He goes, I'm a talker.
Right.
He goes, I'm gonna talk. He's like, yeah. He goes, I knew that part. All right. So you want to hear about my my snake story?
Yes, always.
So yesterday, and it's been raining off and on here and whatever. I've only grilled out. I think I grilled out the one night, first night I got here, that Saturday or whatever it was. I mean, I just, same thing, bought chicken, easy enough to grill or cook on my George Foreman. It's not a big deal. But last night, it's like, what's going to rain? It's like the last night here that I'm cooking something. I'm like, you know what? Like, I got the time. I'm just going to grill out this chicken breast. So I'm in back and forth because I'm heating up, I had the green beans, I had the rice, and heating up some shit and in and out. As it's cooking, and I'm standing out there, and I had some barbecue sauce. I threw it on there, and the grill is kind of right out in the corner. It's not on the deck, but down in this gravel area right by the deck. So I mean, literally, the deck is within 4 feet behind me, and so I'm standing there. I got the grill lid shut, and then I hear this kind of like this rustling and just a little bit of a bang bang on metal. And I'm like, what the fuck is? I turned around and I swear to God, I mean, I know because that started to slither away. It was at least 5 fucking feet long, a snake.
Really?
And I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ. And I'm looking, I'm like, what the fuck? So what it's trying to do, it was trying to get under the deck. But there's grating, and I mean small little grates, like it looks like mini fence and metal. So they got metal lined, and I'm sure, obviously to keep animals and shit out from underneath the deck.
Right.
So this thing's going like poking his head and banging his head trying to do this. And I'm like, that's probably not good. I'm like, that fucking thing gets under there if it gets in the house or whatever. I'm like, I'm going to try to get this thing out of here. So looking for a stick, right? And I'm like, because here's my idea. I'm just pick this thing up with a stick. I'm going to carry it over to the woods, and everything will be
right.
So so like everything's going to be easy and fine.
Sure.
So there's this little stick, and I go to poke at it. It turns around and it's kind of looking at me. I'm like, oh Jesus, and I don't know what kind of fucking snake it is. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to go in the house, and I turned off the grill, and it was almost done cooking my chicken. So I turned the gas off, so let it kind of heat down a little bit. So I went and grabbed the broom, and I'm like, okay, do the same thing. I'm just going to scoop this thing up with the broom, and I'm thinking it's just going to hang over the broom, and I'm going to again, I'll say it again. You know how this goes. I started to poke it with it. It's fucking running. It's trying to get out of the thing. It's all over the goddamn place. It's slithering all over. So finally, what I was able to do, and then I'm getting with the broom and I'm trying to, again, get this broom underneath it because I'm just going to take it up. And then I hear rattling and I'm like, is this a fucking rattlesnake too?
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, Jesus Christ. I'm like, now I really got to get this fucking thing out of here. So I'm like, I did. I grabbed it by the tail. It's like 5 feet long.
Oh, that's good. That's not what you do.
But I ended up getting halfway out in the yard. And I was curling back a little bit, and then I walked it into the woods. It went into the woods. Okay. So
Uh-huh.
here's the thing, and I'm all fucking freaked out about this thing. I'm like, I look it up, and because I took a picture of it.
Yeah.
And the first thing I'd Google has Google Lens.
Yeah.
And first thing it's like, yeah, it's this fucking Tennessee rattler snake and it's venomous and whatever.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? And then I'm looking, I'm like, this in my head, I'm like, this can't fucking be. So after all said and done, or after I ate, I took the picture and I put it on because I'm like, Google Lens is just giving me all these websites, no real description.
Mm-hmm.
So I did it and I put it through ChatGPT and it came back as a rat snake, a Tennessee rat snake.
Okay.
And then it's like, okay, give me. This is what I think it is based on the way it is, the way the picture is, because it was starting to climb up the deck area. Then it says, give me more information if you think you need more information. I'm like, okay, it's a really skinny tail, but it made a rattling noise, And then I said this, and they're like, okay, so this is what they do. Did it do it in the open or did it do it against a piece of wood or something like that? And that's what it did against the metal. Okay.
Yeah.
They're like, same thing, rat snake, because what it does that to defend itself and scare off predators, including you.
Yeah.
So all said and done, that's what it was. Okay.
Yeah.
But I'm like this fucking thing. I mean, I'm like, Jesus Christ. So it scared the fuck out of me. I know, you're a snake person.
Mm-hmm.
They fucking freak me out. I'm not completely afraid of them. I just have this fearful respect for snakes. And I know, I think, did I tell you the story about the cobra? The guy that our mom knew.
Uh-huh.
That's where it happened. You want to talk about if I have any piece of trauma in my life, that's one of them.
Mm-hmm.
And it was in a container, it was in a tank like your snake is.
Right.
But this fucking cobra struck at me.
Yep.
When I was, I don't know, 6, 7, 8 years old, and it fucking scared the shit out of me.
Right.
And I think if I had to put it, there's no other reason in the world why I would be afraid of snakes.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's it. Okay.
All right.
But anyhow, so all said and done, yeah, I got rid of the snake. But now every time I've walked out since then, I look outside first. I look down around. It's not gonna hurt me. It's a rat snake,
Yeah. Right.
But yeah, to begin with, I didn't fucking know that.
And don't grab him by the tail.
How was I supposed to get? I didn't know. I was trying to get it out of there.
Well, you want to don't grab him at all, but
he wouldn't go away. I was trying to get him. I was trying to steer him away to get him in the grass.
Yeah, right. Yeah, rat snake. Yeah. Well, if it was a rattlesnake, you'd have been fucked if you'd have grabbed it by the tail. But yeah. Well, if you're gonna have to grab them anywhere, you grab them right behind the head, so they can't bite you.
Right.
But yeah, by the tail, no, don't do that.
Well, you know what? That's the first time I have ever had to try to even deal with a snake, and I wasn't having. I didn't like it.
All right.
Did not like it at all. But again, it's just that I know I think that goes back to again being a kid, with that fucking snake. But yeah, I don't know. It hasn't been around since then. So anyhow, but yeah. It fucking freaked me out. I'm like, really? He's a fucking rattlesnake. But there's these medium size. They're still venomous. They're the smallest of the rattlesnake species, whatever type of rattlesnake it is, and they're native to this area. So there are rattlesnakes around here, which I didn't know.
Yeah.
I
knew that.
Well, yeah. I mean, but the thing of it is, this is the only other thing I was thinking about is that all the places I've been walking, and I pay attention where I'm walking. I could easily get jumped on by a snake or, bit by a snake if they're, sitting on the side or whatever. But usually from what I understand, everything that I've read with all this hiking shit is that usually what's going to happen if you see them, if they're off in the weeds, unless you're walking through the weeds, you're not going to get fucked with by them for the most part.
Right.
It's what they're going to be doing. You'll see them in the trail. They're sunning themselves, you know?
Right.
And then you're going to see them, so I watch where I'm walking all the time. I don't just fucking meander because I want to trip over snakes or roots or rocks or anything, fall off a cliff like Bill did or whatever. But anyhow. But yeah, okay. So now I know. I hopefully will never have to deal with it again. You know what I need? I needed one of those grabbits, like the old people have.
Right.
That's what I needed. Grab the fucking thing behind the neck. But Yeah, I walked him. I walked him into the woods. So
All right.
he and I walked into the woods.
All right. And lived to tell the tale, and you actually walked out.
Yeah, I did. And I didn't walk into the woods, but I literally I got halfway through the yard, and then a fucker hightailed it.
Mm-hmm.
I slithered it
Yep.
into the woods. So, okay. Last thing, real quick. The actually two things. Waterfalls around here. I just want to say that this whole area, fucking mind blowing. Did you see the pictures?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. It's the thing of it is the rivers reminded me of Michigan, where Kimmy and I went and all that stuff up there. Just with the exception of those had rapids, not the waterfalls where we were.
Right.
So this was the beauty of these river areas. But these fucking that Burgess Falls, that waterfall, and then the other one that I went to, it was called like the Great Falls. That's the one where I got like really close to it.
Mm-hmm.
And I was standing so close, I was getting missed off the waterfall. It was fucking awesome. I kind of walked and like rock jumped and rock walked all the way over to this area so I could get out and, be right by it. But I'm like, this is fucking ridiculous. But this whole area, if you're into it, Rock Island Park, very cool. That's where the Great Falls were. And then Burgess Falls State Park, again, just ridiculously beautiful. I'd love to come back.
Nice.
So, and then last thing, my license plates. Did you see I got my license plates done?
I did.
This is so fucked. Okay. I called the other day, last Friday at lunch. And because I'm like, I'm trying, I needed a planned time to go up to Wisconsin. So I'm like, I got to go up there, take a half day. I'm going to have to go into the DMV. I know for a fact that last time I had to physically go in. I could not do it online because I called last time and they're like, yeah, you can't transfer your personalized plates. And it was with Carvana, with my other car, same deal.
Right.
And I even looked online again this time trying to find transferring plates. Like, now you got to come in. So the only thing I did, I called because I'm like, I got to plan this out. I got to find out exactly what I need, what forms, where I got to go, what I got to do, because I've got a limited amount of time to do it and I want to get it done. So I'm telling the lady my whole thing, and she's like, let me put you on hold real quick. I want to check on one thing. So she got me on hold for 2-3 minutes, comes back, and she's like, you can transfer your plates online. And I said, is that something new? She's like, I don't know when we were able to do it. And I said, well, again, 4 years ago, I wasn't able to. She said, easily could have been within that time frame.
Right.
But she's like, can you go on now? And I said, I've got to get back to work here in a minute, but tell me roughly where to go.
Right.
So I wrote down a note on where to go on their website. And when I got done with work, I'm just like, I went on there and literally it didn't cost me anything. It took me a matter of 5 minutes to put in all the information. And I'm like, God, I wonder if this really, and then my email pops and because I'm like, I wonder if it really worked,
right.
Because I'm like, are they going to send me my registration? As soon as in my head, they emailed me my registration.
Nice.
Fucking done.
Nice.
Now I still have to renew my plates by the end of August, but it eliminated the emission testing on it because I just got the emission tested when I got the car with the other plates. So
right.
I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ. One way or the other. And I was joking about picking up the phone. I wasn't avoiding making a phone call.
Right.
I just thought I had to go in because that's what I had to do last time. So,
right.
But yeah, I just went out there and fucking put my new plates on, and I'm like, I am happy again. So see, look at that. I found a moment of happiness on top of everything else this week. My license plates. So
all right.
And I didn't get killed by a rattlesnake.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a good thing. All right. I think I don't know. You good? I think we're good.
I'm good.
All right. Well, you know what then? Your turn.
All right. Well, thank you everyone for listening to yet another episode of Sober Not Mature. As always, be kind to each other, be good to each other, go out and do something nice for somebody else this week, and don't tell anybody you did it. Now, from the bottom of my heart to the depths of my soul, from the beginning of time until the ends of the earth, always and eternally, fuck you. Now it's time, kids. It's time for you to fuck off. Then keep fucking off. Keep fucking off till you get to a gate with a sign on it saying, you cannot fuck off past here. Climb over that gate, dream the impossible dream, and keep fucking off forever.
All right, last question, because I almost forgot this one. I've never heard of this term before. Have you ever heard of the term corn sweat?
Corn sweat?
Yes.
Well, I mean, like as in corn sweating?
Well, corn sweat or
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah, okay.
When it gets really hot and the corn sweats.
Yeah, well, it's there again. It's one of the kicker stories on the morning show, and then I looked it up, and this happens to be an article from Ohio, from the Columbus Dispatch. They're
Yeah.
talking about it. So what happens is that corn, actually, to your exact point,
Yeah.
corn will heat up, it sweats,
Yeah.
and it causes more humidity. So if you're driving down a roadway, for instance, some of these country roads where there's 7-foot
Yeah.
cornfields on both sides, it's going to be hotter and more humid on that road than it would be
Huh.
in another place. And I'm like, really? So yeah, the humidity level is going to be higher. It's going to be hotter and more humid in there, and it's based on fucking corn sweat.
All right.
So I'm like, how old am I? And I'm just learning about fucking corn sweat. I've never thought about it. I've fucked around in cornfields before. I mean,
Well, all right then. I wouldn't brag about that.
okay, I'm sorry. I have been around cornfields before. I've run
I
through
wouldn't
them. Where
brag about that.
I think I was running away from police one time when I was drunk.
Okay. Well, you can brag about that.
Drunk from a party or something like that. I know I had to run through a cornfield, but anyhow, so I just can't believe I've never heard of it. So
All right.
all right. So on that note, that's corn sweat.
It is.
All right, man. I love you, brother.
I love you too.
We'll talk about whatever soon, right?
Right. We will.
Bye.
Bye.
And now it is time for you to fuck off. Then keep fucking off. Keep fucking off until you get to a gate with a sign on it saying you cannot fuck off past here. Climb over that gate, dream the impossible dream, and keep fucking off forever.